I have spoken many times in this House about the need for Ireland's Brexit strategy approach to not only focus on maintaining the status quo relationship between Ireland and the UK. Ireland should start to look at other markets and diversify its horizons. As part of this, it is ensuring that we have connectivity on and off of this island, and this is currently at risk at present. And our economy will suffer if we fail to diversify our international trade as a consequence of Brexit. We estimate in the region of 300 million per annum for intra-European traffic, representing real value in supporting the 140,000 jobs in aviation and the 325,000 jobs in tourism. There is a need for a two-pronged approach to this situation, Taoiseach. The need to get clarity on international travel on and off of this island, and the need to put a stimulus package in place to sustain the aviation industry over time. And we must recognise, Lascian Corla, that the COVID-19 virus will be with us for the long term, and we need to plan accordingly. In terms of Cork Airport, the passenger numbers fell by over 95% during lockdown compared to the same period last year at Cork Airport. Air traffic is not expected to recover until 2019 levels until 2024. And the impact of COVID-19 on Cork Airport is expected to cause a loss of over 2 million passengers this year and more than €23 million in lost revenue by year-end. Cork Airport is Ireland's second largest international airport, with 2.4 million passengers in 2018. The airport offers more than 50 routes to destinations across the UK and Europe. And such a loss would not only be a huge loss to jobs in my region, but a huge loss to connectivity in Cork East and the south of this country more generally. We need this connectivity for the Cork region to economically thrive in a post-Brexit world. We should also be looking at improving the runway at Cork Airport during the upcoming review of the National Development Plan to help expand current routes and to protect the future of our country's second airport. Easing travel restrictions will not immediately repair the aviation sector, and other European governments have already moved to provide substantial financial assistance. For Cork Airport, a stimulus package should be put in place to encourage the rebuilding of traffic. I quote the final report on the Task Force for Aviation Recovery from July 2020. As part of this package, the state should directly provide the airports with a common fixed sum per passenger, which will be used by the airport to stimulate traffic by reducing airport charges for airlines and restoring the growing passenger numbers as well. This scheme would represent state aid, and it should be notified to the European Commission for approval in accordance with state aid rules, and it should apply for the duration of the aviation sector recovery from this virus. We must adapt and champion the green list at a European level. Ireland has continued to deviate from the approach of our European partners, ignoring ECDC guidelines and adopting to a failed quarantine strategy. Green and amber countries should have no restrictions in terms of moving through the European Union, meaning free movement within these countries if a legitimate negative test can be obtained. We need to bring in place a better testing regime that other countries have in place for countries that are deemed to be in the red zone. And quarantine is a very blunt instrument. The DAA has investigated the ability to facilitate pre-departure rapid testing at Cork and Dublin airports, and they could conduct up to 15,000 tests a day, which is absolutely staggering. We need to look into investing into better testing, such as loop-mediated isothermal amplification, or LAMP testing in short, and the market is constantly getting better at being able to adapt to the airport environment during COVID-19. Ireland should be at the forefront of ensuring such investments are made, and we need to ensure a return to international travel in this country. If we want to Brexit-proof our economy, it is more than necessary, Lascian Corla. It is dangerous to think that the routes that have been removed from our airports will re-emerge overnight. We therefore need to act now. Routes require huge effort to get back, and it could be 2024 before we see a recovery within the sector. And it is a recovery that Ireland can, and a recovery that Ireland should champion.